Hello and welcome to Last Level Gamescast. I'm Jason. That's Phil. Say hi, Phil.
What's up, everyone?
That's Var. Say hi, Var.
How's it going?
It's our podcast where we talk about video games and video game news and all that fun stuff. Things we love, right? Right, guys?
Yeah.
Say we love video games.
That's kind of a lot of commitment. I'm not sure if I'm ready for that.
I know. So yeah, this is our weekly podcast where we just talk about what's going on, and we're just going to get right into it. But before we start, we have a podcast about the Paris Game Show, about PlayStation's press conference, also up this week. So just check it out. Let us know what your favorite parts of the press conference were, what you didn't like, what you thought was just meh. You can hear our opinions about everything that came out, what we're looking forward to with that podcast. So let's get into the news, guys. So this is kind of old, but I just want to hear your opinions on it. PayDay. You guys familiar with PayDay?
Mm-hmm.
So developers are like, hey, we're never going to put microtransactions in.
Yeah.
And then they're like, hey, we got this thing called microtransactions. It's new. We never said we weren't going to put them in.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on it, guys?
So honestly, it's just a PR blunder. All over the place. And then not even having the wherewithal to realize they made a PR blunder and just keep going, just like full steam ahead into it, and just no thought of like, hey guys, maybe if we tell them we were wrong, explain what we're doing, this will go over better. But nah, they were like, hey guys, microtransactions. Hey guys, we don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
And then that's it. That's literally how they left it. Their ending was, fuck did they say? They said, yeah, we're gonna lose people, but the other people paying for stuff makes up for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe the exact words were, it's working as planned.
Step into my web.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
You know. Yeah, it's weird. It's one of those things where like, and that's my problem. Like, we as consumers need to say like that kind of shit isn't okay, only because you can add something if you think it's going to benefit us, right? But don't make it seem like you're making a stance on not doing it, and then just trying to put it past and being like, well, this is how it is.
Yeah,
like
it's just betrayal.
It's a shitstorm that you can't keep
nothing,
your. Yeah.
If they had said nothing from the start and then done this, people probably wouldn't even notice.
Yeah.
But when you tell somebody, I'll never do this to you, baby.
Yeah.
And then it's, I'm going to do this to you, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't love me no more.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's funny too is the timing of it, I think, is amazing because we get to see both sides of the spectrum. So you have Destiny on one end, right, where they added microtransactions, but their fan base loves it and is okay with it, and then you just have a revolt on the other end.
Yeah, it's transparency. It's transparency and execution, right? So, because I think. So they're adding cosmetic things that you can buy, but the bigger thing is
stuff for Halloween.
Is like stats. Well, I'm talking about the PayDay.
PayDay.
The vaults.
And
stat boosts and stuff like that. It's just like, you know, we actually talked about that on our I think it was last week's episode. Just the method about how people should go with MMOs and microtransactions and stuff like that. So just check it out if you guys haven't heard it already. So moving on, and I feel like we talk about this every week, at least more recently. So Microsoft came out, you know, Phil Spencer was just like, hey, we're going to look at our success a little different. And now instead of focusing on console sales and console shipped and stuff like that, they're going to put their attention to Xbox Live user accounts and user activity. So right now they have, I think it was like 39 million users. And the way they keep track of that is if you log in the month, you know, and that's how they determine where they're at with success. You know, I just want to hear kind of what your thoughts are on that. If you think it's a way for them to just ignore the fact that their console sales aren't doing what they want or showing the way they want, or is it just is it a better method for them to kind of gauge, you know, where they are with users and stuff like that? Because I think that is an interesting way to look at it. I think there's a little bit of a flaw in it, but I want to hear what you guys think. Who's going first?
So it definitely has a bit of an issue in which it doesn't distinguish between 360 and Xbox One. And then it has the issue of I believe it says any login, right?
Yeah, any
So
login.
it can be a gold account or it can be a silver account. So I think it would have a little bit more oomph behind it if they were gold accounts. Um, I get why they're doing it. I mean, rough estimates puts them down by almost 10 million below the PS4.
Yeah.
So
You're talking about are you talking about
for consoles?
For console sales, okay.
Yep. So I get why they're doing it. I get why they kind of want to shift the focus onto their community, because I think at any point in any time for Microsoft, that's been their strongest suit.
Yeah.
Has always been Xbox Live, and it's always been multiplayer. It's always been those things that Microsoft has done better than PlayStation.
Yeah.
And so I think it's smart, right? So you want to shift everybody's attention into what's really there. And let's be honest, the only people asking these questions or stating things like, hey, well, that's between two different generations, and that's not all active paying members is us, right? Everybody else just is like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the problem I see, that you're kind of backtracking a little bit. You're trying to put forth a new product, but you're saying we have all these people, including the people on our old product.
Yeah.
And it kind of hides the truth of what's, totally going on. You're kind of just saying, hey, look at our good numbers. Forget about our bad numbers. But look at our good numbers.
Yeah, that's any company, though. Any company is going to sway it or put out numbers that make themselves sound better or make themselves not as behind the eight ball. And so just to be fair, though, they're sort of behind the eight ball. I mean, they're still beating 360 numbers. They're still doing better than they thought they would.
Yeah, they're still doing fine.
Still a ridiculous start to a generation for the PS4 and the Xbox One. So that's not the problem. I think it's more PS4 is doing so well and so far above expectations that they're trying to kind of shift the talk a little bit.
Yeah, and just make it more about their success versus their comparison to another. Because, they're going to be like, how are your console sales? Well, this is our, Xbox Live
active user base.
Which, is an interesting thing. And I think, the way I look at it is it's kind of interesting that they're doing it like that, because that means that they're incorporating Xbox 360. So that means they're not forgetting about it either, in a sense, because there are developers like Call of Duty, like Treyarch, they're gutting the Xbox 360 version and saying, if they charge that game for $60 still, that's going to be fucking interesting. Which
it won't get DLC either.
Yeah, that's for completely like another day.
Dude.
But for them to do that, I think that I can't see a point where that number might change permanently, because let's say they go into this year, like these next 2 months, and they do really well with their console sales, right? You're still migrating. You still might be potentially migrating the people from Xbox 360 to Xbox One. So I guess their focus is that it's staying at a certain number and it's continuing to build. I don't think it'll go down necessarily, or at least not go down enough where it's like significant. It might go down and go up. It can only go up from this point, or just stay kind of where it is, which is fine either way. Like I just think it's one of those situations where they're trying to change their perspective. And not deceive, but kind of alter people's mindset about Microsoft being successful right now with the Xbox One or their video game console industry in general. So it's good stuff. I'm still excited to see like how they do this month and next month, because I think they have a lot of good things going for them, and they have really good bundles. I know, Phil, you mentioned a couple good ones.
That Black Friday one, I want that so bad.
Now that's confirmed for sure?
Yeah, that's a thing. I'm actually going to be trying to get that one. Extra controller and whatnot. Yeah, it's going to be someone's Christmas gift.
Yeah, it's good. I'm gonna be excited to see that. Moving on to the next thing. You guys play Rock Band?
No.
Me neither. I played Guitar Hero way back. I'm talking like 6 years ago.
Guitar Hero over Rock Band.
I was one. Well, I did it because I'm alone all the time.
I was playing by myself. I didn't have 5 other people to start a band.
Yeah, and you'd be surprised how hard it is to play the mic and drum and guitar all at once to feel like you're in a band. But I'm not saying I tried it. But So Rock Band 4, just came out, and some news came out that was saying that some of their employees were posting positive reviews on Amazon and I think other places too. But it was
the only ones found was Amazon.
Yeah. So now, from what I read on this, it wasn't like Harmonix was telling employees to do this, but do you guys think that they shouldn't have done it? Like, do you think employees should have said to themselves, "Hey, I shouldn't review this"? Like, you know what I mean? Like, Harmonix should have done their job to say, "No matter what, don't review this game."
That's exactly what I think. I think even though you could have meant it with the best intentions and you believe in your product, there's a bias there.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that you're a part of it.
Yeah.
Like you don't have the objective view that others do. You don't see it from the outside in, you see it from the inside out. And normally,
well, it's assumed that you do, right? I mean, it's a normal assumption, right? But it's assumed that you won't be biased, even if you are, even if your best intentions are that. I mean, it's assumed that you are biased, even if you're not.
Right.
Right. And
I think no, to your point, Jason, where like I think people make a bigger deal of it than it really is. Because one, it was only like 4 reviews. 2,
that makes a difference.
2,
it doesn't.
I don't care that they reviewed their own product, but they should have said, "Hey, by the way,
disclaimer.
I work for them."
Yeah, disclaimer.
I don't care that they reviewed their own product. You know why? Because there are so many fanboys that go on there and do that. There's so many people that are fanboys for Guitar Hero that will go and leave negative reviews for no fucking reason. So I don't really care about that part of it.
Yeah.
Anything that is, when I look at reviews on Amazon, anything that sounds too enthusiastic or too negative, I just disregard. I look at like the 3s and the 4s because I feel like they may be a little bit more genuine. I could be wrong because who the fuck knows? Amazon just sued 1,000 people for making fake ones. So I don't have a problem that they did it. They need to be upfront. They need to say like, "Hey, BT Dubs."
Yeah, I think we can all agree that it should have been handled a little bit differently. I think go ahead.
The only thing this makes me wonder about, like, all things considered, I don't know if you guys have ever looked at the review system on a site like GameStop.
Yeah.
Where there are 10s and 10s and 10s for stuff that won't come out for another year. It's I'm not trying to say I suspect that it's the same thing where people are working on something and reviewing it, but the whole review system in my eyes, it's too tainted. Like,
no, you're definitely right. They a lot of times they'll be like, "Oh, I played a build somewhere and that's why it's a 10 or whatever."
Don't allow your site to have that happen. Yep. You know what I mean? Like,
but that's what they do.
I know
they do everywhere. That's why. So
I don't go to GameStop for my reviews. Personally, you know what I mean?
Terrible. That's like going to Walmart to find out about the Walmart brand. So no, but seriously, I do my reviews kind of differently. I only listen to the reviews from people who have previously reviewed games I like.
Yeah.
And then they give the same type of impression, right? So I'm not going to listen to someone who hates sports games tell me about the new Madden, right?
Yeah.
And then vice versa, like I want to hear like, "Oh, this guy has liked FIFA for the past 10 years. Let me see what he thinks about it."
He knows the ins and outs.
Right. Yeah. Because I've liked FIFA for the past 10 years, so chances are he'll be closer to how I feel about it. That random stuff and like Metacritic, I don't give it any weight.
Yeah.
I think it's useless, and I think that there's every intent to be clear and good and honest, but Amazon just proved that's bullshit, and then them pulling this stunt just proves even more that it's like you don't actually know what you're reading.
Yeah.
Don't.
Yeah. No, I understand. I think the bigger thing for anybody who's wondering what a game is, you might have to do a little bit more legwork, but it's out there. Like the true opinion of a game is out there. You might have to look at a couple reviews or listen to a couple people. But at the end of the day, just check it out and make the decision for yourself. But it's weird. I don't know how many. I think more companies have disclaimers that say don't review this game.
Yeah.
And I would think a company like this has it, but I think going forward you're gonna see either it's them saying if you review this on Amazon, that's fine, but make sure you tell them that you work at X company. You know what I mean? Because I think it is a pride thing. Like I think if they feel like the game is good and they're doing the best intentions is that they're not biased and they're reviewing the game and saying like, hey, we think like I think this game is fun and this is exactly it's true to the fans that enjoy this. There's nothing wrong with that because you're praising your own work like 3 years in the making, 2 years in the making. Like that's a grind. They work 80-hour weeks, those developers. So it wasn't handled. I mean, they nipped it in the bud, but
right.
It's just an interesting story. And it kind of like had some weight to it. Where I was just like, people were like, just why would Harmonix do this? And I'm like, they didn't even. It wasn't even implied that they told them to do it. Like, relax. Fucking relax.
Well, conspiracy theories. So.
Yeah. With their antennas, aluminum foil antennas. Moving on to probably the most important subject here, guys. When you guys played Pokemon, when you were kids, do you ever think, man, I want to go to an actual gym and train my Pokemon? Be honest.
How retarded.
Oh yeah, me neither. No, I never thought that. No, seriously, I thought that. I've always wanted that.
Seriously.
But then I grew up. And I was like, man, Pokemon. I'm done with it. But Japan is going to have a real-world Pokemon gym.
So stupid.
Now, I threw this in there just because it was kind of like, for me, a what the fuck. We talk about like, I mean, to each his own, but that's like.
Nah, that's a lie. That's like above that. Like, because even walking past it, I'd be like, well, this makes me uncomfortable. Like, it's not something.
Like, they have, like, virtual reality that you can interact with. They have, like, I think, like, little food places and then, arcades and stuff. But you can actually train your Pokemon. I think it's going to tie into the new game coming out.
Yep.
But at the same time, like, that would be cool. But at the same time, like, I would feel a little awkward as a 26-year-old man walking into and being like, I need to heal my Eevee. Where do I go?
That's the problem. Like, if you walk in there and it's a whole bunch of 8 and 9-year-olds running around, it's just like, oh, this is cute. But if it's like a 34-year-old man just standing there like, does anyone want to battle? Kind of like, this isn't working out.
Yeah.
You just walk through the door. He like scuttles up to you. I saw you come in. Let's battle.
Yeah. I'm using Raichu. He's got a vest on and everything. Like, But I thought it was interesting. It's not for me. But God, what are we coming to?
I'm hoping it's for kids.
Yeah. No, it looks like it. Like I've seen pictures of it on Kotaku, and it looks like it's designed for kids, which is fine. It's fun, but it's just like one of those things where I'm just like, wow, that's a real thing now. But so next thing, Phil, I'm gonna kind of rely on you for this. I'm playing Halo 5 right now. Halo 5's out. You beat it.
I did.
What are you thinking? First impression. No spoilers, please.
No spoilers.
No spoilers.
Halo. It very much was the same gameplay as any other Halo. I know that there's some other impressions out there that people feel it's not like other Halos. They think that like it lost story, whatever. It's Halo. You go in, you get a little story, you do a mission, you get a little story, you do mission, you get a little story. It's Halo. That's what it is. I like the story. I think it's pretty good. I think Hunt the Truth and like their materials led into it pretty well. They might have over exaggerated or played up the Locke Chief fight, but that was a big part of it, and that was really it was there. So I don't know what people really wanted from that. Like if they just expected the whole time it to be Super Smash Brothers and you literally just fought each other. I don't know. I don't know what people thought it was. Normally when you go after somebody, you go after them. You don't fight them the whole time.
Yeah.
Whatever. People's preference. So I thought it was good. It took about 9 hours. I'd give it. I did not collect all the intel, the skulls.
Yeah.
Saying it's a bit longer if you go through all that kind of stuff.
Those data things are hard to find. They're like flat.
Yeah.
You know, like it's just like Jesus.
The one thing that bothered me the most, um, I love my battle rifle. I want to use my battle rifle.
Oh.
Every Halo in the world is you can't. You have to use alien technology.
It depends on where. It depends on what planet you're on. That's what I noticed.
So I thought the same thing, right? And in the older Halos, there used to be a lot more supply drops, and used to be a lot more guns around the world. Like
because you're fighting a war. There's like they're dropping pods and shit.
Yeah. But they were dropping pods, and you could get back a battle rifle, or you can get back your gun that you liked, and I didn't see that as much.
Yeah.
A lot more times I was trying to find like the closest alien weapon to it, or using an alien weapon I didn't really care for, to get through the level.
Yeah. No, I get you. I enjoy the battle rifle and the DMR and those guns. And so far, because that was my problem in Halo 5, is that like I think there was one mission where you had to keep, for the achievement, you had to keep your battle rifle with you the whole time. And I was trying to do it, and it's just like it pissed me off. Yeah. But I've been able to find. I haven't come across the same issue you have. Maybe it's later in the game. But it's yeah. I mean, I don't know. What would you say? I told you where I was, like a quarter through the game.
I don't remember where you said you were.
Without spoiling it, I'm Master Chief again.
Yeah.
And there's these big things.
You're probably just past the quarter.
Okay, so I'm almost halfway.
You have a good solid amount of gameplay to go.
Yeah.
And then obviously, if you do Intel Death, did you do any multiplayer?
No, I want to finish the campaign first.
So that's kind of part of the reason I went straight through the campaign, is I wanted to do the same thing.
Yeah.
I played Team Slayer three times maybe. It's Team Slayer. It's the same thing. It's Halo. It's a little bit faster. It's different with
Slayer.
Some of the dodge techniques you can use now.
B? Someone B?
Yeah. And then also, like, if you're sprinting, you can shoulder charge people and get killed that way. Some different things.
Are you finding that it's easy, like, that you use the slam?
No, I've never once used the slam.
Even in the game, like, even in the campaign, like, it's an interesting concept, but I don't use it. Like, there's no point. They made you, like, they didn't even make you use it, but they try to get you to use it, like, twice in the beginning, like, the first 2 missions. And because I'm still trying to figure out, like, all the controls and stuff like that, like, I missed my opportunity to actually do it. And I'm thinking to myself, like, it's not prominent. Maybe it's built for multiplayer, but it's not something that, it's kind of something that's like, oh, here's this new feature that you're never going to use. You know what I mean? Like,
I've seen it used in multiplayer a couple times.
Yeah.
Just because, so I've been playing Warzone a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And in Warzone, like, you have bases that you have to control and people come and attack. So there's layers to the base, so it's easier to use a move like that.
Oh, okay.
You might already have, like, height.
So it's built for multiplayer.
Yeah.
Like that feature.
It's better there.
Okay.
Yeah. But I'm telling you, I love Warzone. Abso-freaking-lutely love it.
Is that the one where there's also AI that you're fighting too?
So the way it works is there's 3 bases on every map, and then your core.
Yeah.
If you control all 3 bases, you can attack the enemy core. If you blow up the enemy core, you win. Otherwise, you're moving towards 1,000 victory points. I think it's victory points.
Yeah, it is.
So the entire time, as you kill people, you get a victory point. When you take over stuff, you get some points. And then the AI is in the game as well. And what it does is it drops, like, bosses into the game. And then those bosses are worth a certain amount of victory points. 25, 50, 150, depending on how tough they are to kill. And so it kind of gives you objectives in the middle of fighting for the bases, and I think it works fucking perfectly.
So so you're fighting other people.
Yep.
Right? So is there a point where that boss drops and everybody just focuses on that boss? Has that happened?
No.
Wow, I thought that'd be like...
It's interesting. Every match I've seen, which is way more coordination than I thought would ever happen.
Yeah.
Every match I've seen, like, you'll see a team go up and, like, 4 or 5 blue go after the boss, and then the red on the other side will, like, try to flank or just forget the boss, just try to take care of the blue people, then go after the boss.
Yeah.
And I've also seen it. This one I was more impressed, and my team sadly lost very, very badly to the blue team, actually. So we were up coming up to attack the boss. Blue was already attacking the boss, and so your immediate thought is, oh, well, they're going to be preoccupied. They had 2 guys just waiting for us.
Oh.
Just flat out waiting, not attacking the boss, just waiting and looking for us. Fucking decimated us as soon as we came around like the corner. It wasn't even close.
You ready to get got?
Yeah. The one thing about the boss is that it's not bad. It's rough. Its last shot counts. So a team can damage it 99.9%.
Yeah.
And as long as you get in that 0.1 damage at the end, that's a victory for you. And I've stolen them and had them stolen that way. So it's tough to swallow.
Yeah.
You almost defeat the boss, and then the other team gets 150 victory points. But it's cool. I still love it. I still love like all of it. And then the way they do the cards, I think, are really cool. The way you're able to upgrade your loadout as the game progresses, it's really cool.
Okay.
So you start with your DMR and then your pistol, which it's the powerful pistol again. They gave it back power. It's not weak like it was in 4.
Okay.
3. It's more like 2. So it has power, but I always end up switching. As you move up rec points, you can switch to other guns.
Yeah.
So I switched to my battle rifle because I found it in a rec pack. I switched to my battle rifle, and then as I move up another level, I always run SMG and battle rifle.
Yeah, I like the SMG.
The higher weapons, more powerful weapons, are worth rec points, and you have to find them through the rec packs and that kind of thing. You can buy rec packs just flat out, or you can wait and use in-game currency. What I've seen is you get enough in-game currency.
I was gonna ask that. Is it something where you feel like I should just buy it, or is it like you get enough points where you're just like, oh no, I can just play this game, enjoy this game, and I'll get it quick enough where I'm satisfied?
Yeah, as long as your team's decent enough, I'm seeing that you can buy a rec pack probably with a decent team. So like not even you winning, but you guys just progressing. Maybe it's close, maybe it's a little bit, but it's not bad. I can see about every 5 matches you can get a gold pack.
Yeah.
Gold pack's the highest. It's 10,000.
Okay.
They have a lower one at like 5 and a lower one at like 2,000 or something like that. So you can always kind of buy a pack if you want to. I just wait. But I will say, after I opened up the customization and the options you have, and after seeing all of them, I really wanted to buy rec packs.
Oh, well, that's the idea. That must be you know they must know people are gonna look at it and be like, they'll buy this. It's good.
Yeah.
I got a question for you.
Yeah.
About multiplayer.
Yeah.
How are the servers?
I had no problems whatsoever.
So
jump right into a match, no lag, no anything.
So I think that's something that if it had went wrong, we would have been like. Exactly. So I'm really glad that Bungie did it. Or 343. 343. Destiny, Halo, same shit. But I'm really happy that they got the servers, you know, and they're working, they're holding, because you know that people would be fucking flipping shit if the servers weren't working, and they don't give them the credit that's due. So,
yeah. I mean,
kudos to you, 343.
I can only imagine what those big maps with all those people in it must take. But I think they weren't stupid.
They must have like footnotes every day. By the way, are the servers working? By the way, are the servers working?
Just up to launch, check the server. 5 minutes later, check the server. 5 minutes later.
Stress test.
Also, I am sure Microsoft put way more servers than they needed to.
Yeah.
Way more with dedicated.
Safe and sorry.
Not peer-to-peer. Mm-hmm. I have no doubt about that.
Oh. None. So it's good. So I would you say that this first-person shooter is going to be the first-person shooter of your... I'm not counting Fallout in this scenario, but I'm saying...
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm talking about, is this for maybe this fall? I would say this year. Is this the first-person shooter for you this year?
That's rough.
Putting you on the spot.
I would say multiplayer, yes.
Okay.
So for multiplayer, I like it. I actually like it better than Destiny's multiplayer.
I love Destiny's multiplayer.
So yeah, it's great. It's fun. You can use the different guns, and that's actually really attractive to me. The problem I have with Destiny's multiplayer is it's very reliant on your loot rolls, which then implies the more you play, the better it is. And I understand they level things out, and I understand they make things even. But when your gun has better rolls on it, so
Yeah.
it has better secondaries on it, you can't make that even. There's no way to do that. So if my shotgun has a fully automatic shotgun and I can fire 5 times in under 10 seconds, and yours isn't, and yours has to pull at every trigger, that's what I mean. You know?
Yeah.
So I do like I like Halo's multiplayer better, but I like the MMO aspect of
Destiny. Okay. It's interesting. I threw that in there. I was just curious. I want to finish it. I do think I'm actually excited about playing Halo's multiplayer. Like I wanted to jump into it, and I was just like, no, let me beat the campaign, let me get that out of the way, and then because for me this is gonna be I think the multiplayer shooter that I'm gonna enjoy, for this fall season.
I'm not going Call of Duty.
No.
This is slower than Call of Duty, but that's okay.
Yeah, you don't need to be fucking.
Yeah. It's okay that it's. Yes.
It's fine.
Yes.
I get you.
Get knifed constantly, so that was fucking
amazing. So speaking of first-person shooters, we're gonna get into our main topics. Let's start off with the first-person shooter one, and that is, I gotta ask you guys, what do you want? What do you like? Like, what's your perfect first-person shooter? What do you want in a first-person shooter?
Just a really quick question. Are we talking online, or are we talking about multiplayer, or are we talking like Fallout?
No, I would say when you think of a first-person shooter, I want you to think of not Fallout, not more RPG. I mean, you could say it, whatever you think of a first-person shooter. Okay. Like, what do you look for in it? Like, do you want heavy multiplayer emphasis? Do you want it to be more like Far Cry? Do you want it to be more like BioShock? Do you want it to be more like Call of Duty? Like, what do you look for in first-person shooters? What do you want in one?
Okay. Bob, what do you want?
Character progression. I like a good assortment of weapons, but in the end, I want my experience to be different from somebody else's and be able to compare and contrast and talk to them about it by the different choices I make in my character as opposed to the different choices they make in theirs.
Okay.
And the closest I've seen to that is Destiny.
So you like Destiny's character progression?
I like it.
Yeah.
But I would like more.
Okay. Now, do you like BioShock and BioShock Infinites?
It's not really progression. It's it's two levels of assortment.
Yeah, but
there's guns and there's powers.
Yeah. But with the powers, I can have an emphasis on certain powers and you won't, but that's more limited to you.
To me, that's limited.
It's understandable. Yeah, I'm just curious.
Look at Fallout's perk system.
Yeah.
They aren't powers, so it won't be like, oh, did you choose lightning or fire? That's still kind of limited.
Yeah.
But if you have that assortment of abilities that you can have in game, like they're affecting your stats or whatever have you, that's what I'm looking for.
So first-person shooter, you want Fallout,
I want that variety of
character progression.
Yeah, like abilities I can have or passive abilities, whatever have you.
You like your shooters to have RPG elements.
I like my everything to have RPG
Fair elements. Enough. Fair enough.
True. Story heavy RPG elements.
Yeah, that makes sense. If you could mash up some shooters together, or maybe there's just one that you think is perfect the way it is, what would you like to see in one first-person shooter game? What combination of games?
I want Destiny and Halo's armor customization. They're what they've shown me in the past that you can do a multiplayer with that for my apparel. I want a perk system like Fallout 3. Trying to think of a game I played with an absolutely insane amount of guns.
Insanely amount of guns.
An insane amount of guns. I want either give me an incredible amount of guns.
Yeah.
Or let me customize them to an extent that I have not yet seen in gaming.
Metal Gear. Doesn't Metal Gear let you do that?
Metal Gear Solid 5, it does have a lot of customization. It does. It's it's kind of weird. I think the Metal Gear Solid 4 has had a good amount of customization,
Yeah,
but I've played with it a little. It's pretty simplistic. Like, you know, you have your suppressors, you have your flash hiders, you have different paint job. Like, it's nothing we haven't seen before. It's more along the lines of like how Battlefields is.
Yeah.
Like, you have the list, like drop down boxes of different flash hiders or different muzzles, different stocks and stuff like that.
I want Battlefield size multiplayer maps.
You like big maps.
I love that. There's like, I used to love being a sniper in Call of Duty.
Yeah.
And now, unless you're just cheap shotting people, it's the most pointless thing in the game.
Yeah, Call of Duty is not meant for you to like wait around like there. And that was the thing. Like, it struck a good balance in certain games where you had the options, and you know, people will call you campers, but you always had that option to play your, like, the play styles were more varied, where you can't do that anymore. Like, it's so focused on like I don't know if it's just because they want it to be an esports thing, like they want to have a certain model around it, but it's like, I feel like no gun matters. You know, like, guns matter. I'm sorry, but there's not a lot of distinction between the guns.
Well, there's always a best gun or a best loadout now.
It's, you know, I don't know, but
so then what would you want? What do you want? What's your either mashup or what's your first-person shooter? Yeah.
So for my first-person shooter, I was thinking about this. So I like Far Cry style of game, Far Cry 3 and Far Cry 4.
Okay.
In that, story-wise, like, and you know, obviously different opinions on this, but story-wise, I like the way Far Cry's presentation was. Yeah. Like, I need shooters to not ideally take themselves too seriously. I think when you have, like, so Call of Duty takes itself way too serious. Now, they've told good stories over time, like they have, but that's, to my opinion, it's like one or two really good Call of Duties told good stories. The other ones were kind of like, what the fuck? And the last one I played, Advanced Warfare. Yeah. Fucking, it was like cinematic after cinematic, but it was like, why are you making me put my hand on a coffin? Like, why is this QuickTime event? So I like Far Cry's style where they tell a good story, but they don't take themselves too seriously. I do like Call of Duty's gameplay. So if I had to think of it, I'd say Far Cry's story system, Call of Duty's gun gameplay specifically, you know, not anything else but their gun gameplay. I do like progression. I agree with VAR. I would like something along the line. I like Destiny's. Like, I actually like the way you have 3 subclasses, well, 2, and now you have 3. And you can pick out of those 3, because I don't like too much. I don't like too much. Like, I struggle with Fallout because I get so overwhelmed with,
because every choice is like life or death.
Yeah, I do the same thing with like Skyrim and those games, because I feel like at some point I'm making a wrong decision.
You're gonna
you know
fuck
what I mean?
Up.
Exactly. But I like I like Destiny's subclass because it's enough for me. And then multiplayer wise, this is tough. Because I really like Battlefield 3's multiplayer, Battlefield 4's multiplayer. Like LeVar, I think the open world. But I'd say like medium to open world. Like, I don't like it where I feel like trudging across the map is a pain in the ass. But I like a good size where you can do all kinds of varied things. So yeah, that's kind of where I am. So I say Far Cry's like storyline, like how they're presenting it, a Call of Duty's gun gameplay, Destiny's character progression, and then what's it called? Battlefield's like multiplayer setup, I would say, and their maps and stuff like that. So
I agree with a lot of those points. There's a lot of things in there that I think are really valid and would make a great game. I'm really big. I mean, obviously, as you guys know, I play a bunch of Destiny now. I don't play the multiplayer of it because it's not something I like. And what's interesting about that is when I got Destiny, that is what I wanted in a multiplayer. I actually wanted the my PvE stuff to matter in PvP, and I wanted to get that gun from doing PvE and use it in PvP, and I thought that was cool and blah 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 blah, and it was for a time. But then it gets into the problem of, well, I can't do the high end raids maybe, or I can't find this one piece, or this, that, and the other thing, and then that kind of loses its luster. I love the subclassness of Destiny. It makes me feel like it's a true MMO. It makes me feel like I actually have some choice over what I do and like how I can help a group or how I can help myself if it's 1v1 stuff.
Yeah.
Or me versus the environment. So I really do like that, and then I really like Destiny's. In the Taken King, they've done this thing where you can upgrade your weapons. So no longer that you find the perfect weapon you love to find a weapon that does more damage. Now you can use that more damage to bring up your weapon that you love and make it do more damage. So I'm a really big fan of that because I found one gun that just freaking amazing to me. So that one is the one I just keep infusing and infusing and infusing, and making it a better gun and a better gun and a better gun. So I really love that progression, the sense of progression. I really like its loot pace. I think it's made huge strides in how loot works and kind of the rewarding feeling you get from it.
Yeah.
Me and Jason were joking before. They put out the little engrams plushies. They were joking around that the purple one probably has a blue inside of it. Because back in the day, you work your ass off
to get purples.
Drop,
and that loot cave.
Shit. It was just shit in that loot cave. Fucking loot cave. But they fixed a lot of that, and now as somebody who does play that game mostly solo, I can still get exotics. I can still get the better items that make me want to play and make me want to come back to it.
Yeah.
And then I like when any game does events around holidays. So obviously they have a Halloween event going on right now, like that kind of thing. Multiplayer. I actually like most of what Halo does. And what I mean by that is I like that it starts on an even playing field.
Okay.
So Call of Duty came out, and there were a ton of games that you couldn't select your loadout. You couldn't bring in this extra gun. You couldn't change out your side weapon for another rocket launcher. Like, that's how games were. They were more like Halo, where, like, hey, here's your loadout. There's guns on the map. Good luck.
Yeah.
And that's the multiplayer I actually prefer. Because I think that once you go into adding all those other bits and pieces, you get into that stuff where it's, well, this is the best loadout, so why would you play anything
Yes.
else? This is the best gun, why would you bring anything else to the fight? So, whereas that can still be the case, and that rocket launcher is still the best thing, but it's on the middle of the fucking map, so good luck.
Yeah.
You know, like, that's the kind of thing I like.
It creates a more fair game.
Right, and it's more...
true game. Like a true gameplay, like it's you versus me, not your best loadout versus...
my best loadout.
Yeah, and it's like... We're probably using the same loadout, so...
What the fuck's the point?
Yeah.
Let's make it standard.
Yeah.
So that's really something that the Call of Duty's kind of injected into the first-person shooter world.
Yeah.
Fucking wish they didn't. So I really do like that part of Halo. The rec packs I could do without. I know 5 minutes ago I just said I liked them. I like.
Well, it's a different context. It's understandable, right?
I like the loot that they bring and the idea of loot.
Yeah.
Because it makes the multiplayer rewarding. When I get more points, I can then go buy a pack, and maybe I'll get a gun, or maybe I'll get something that I get to call in later. It's my kill streak.
Yeah.
The only thing I don't like about it is it leaves that option open of, again, well, not that I'm not good enough to get that stuff, because I think that's just something.
Because you're not.
I'm not. That's a story.
It's okay, I'm not either.
Yeah, I'm not. I think some unlocks after time, and that's why I get some stuff. That's a different point, though.
It's throwing you a bone. It's like, here you go. Yeah. Here you go.
Don't level your rec level quick enough. They just like, it's a time. It moves to like a time thing. Whatever. The thing I don't like about it is so you can buy the packs. So right now, if I spent, let's say, $150 and bought a shit ton of packs, I'd have all these weapons and all these things. Okay. because I'm not doing that, it gets to points in the match where I open my rec pack and I'm like, well, I could get in my Banshee, but I only have one, and we're down by 200, so is it worth it? But if you buy rec packs, that might not fucking matter.
Yeah.
You might have 15 saved up.
Yeah.
So it adds strategy to the game for some people, not everybody. And I think if it added that strategy to the game for everybody, it would be amazing.
Yeah, so, it's essentially people are paying for advantage,
yes.
right?
You're paying for the chance to use something better.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you're paying for, because you still have to unlock it within the game to use that better item.
Yeah.
You still have to get to a high enough rec level to use that item.
Okay.
So honestly, if you took the chance to buy those out, but still left the cards, that with the pre-loadouts, everybody loads the same, there's no thing, that would be probably my favorite multiplayer.
Okay.
But those packs, the fact that you can buy them, I get it, and I'm happy because now I don't have to pay for maps. That makes me really happy.
Yeah.
But I just, man, I wish there was some other way for Bungie to make 343 to make money, so I didn't have to worry.
You fucked up. Who does that?
God, this kid, huh?
I did that.
Yeah. Seriously though, when are you gonna play Destiny again?
I knew that was coming. So you like Halo and Destiny?
Yeah. Surprising, huh?
Yeah, it's come from the same club. But there, yep. And that's the thing. Like, I think it says something like that. Destiny is the success that, I mean, a lot of people were just like, oh, it was overhyped. Like it had a lot of, but no, it did fine. Like I think I don't even know how to put it other than like people want it to not get the rep that it deserves for what it's doing.
They want it to fail
because of the marketing hype, because it's like, oh, it's marketing it to be something else. Like I get it, they put out something and people were just like, it's not exactly what you said, but they took feedback and they changed a lot.
So
like
for them.
Yeah, so that. Yeah.
I mean, I'm not buying emotes, but I mean, I'll play.
Yeah, no. You're not gonna buy dance moves or nothing?
No, not happening.
I thought about it for a second.
I
don't know. I didn't do it. I know.
You logged on and were like, oh, let me buy all these emotes and then not play for the next 4
I was like, that's a cool emote. I want that. I ain't got no monies.
You can get an engram headpiece.
Are you fucking kidding me?
It's part of the Halloween thing.
And you don't want to buy that?
You get it. You can. So that's why they're smart, motherfuckers. You can buy. So they did a couple things. They added Halloween stuff you can buy, like dance moves and whatnot. And then they also, for the Halloween stuff, there's quests you do.
Yeah, sorry.
To get masks. Or you can buy packs that have a chance to have the masks in them already.
Okay. You have options.
So we talked before about how they're going to keep the money going all year. And this is it. Now, every holiday, if they do something with masks or new emotes for that holiday, like, that's fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
That's absolutely brilliant.
Yeah. Are they taking that from other MMOs? I mean, it's a good idea.
So every MMO does stuff for a holiday.
Mm-hmm.
I've never, and I don't play every MMO out there, so don't fucking kill me.
Yeah.
But I've never seen one use a microtransaction like this.
Okay, fair enough.
Based around that, like that. But oh man, I'm excited.
Yeah.
I gotta get that engram now.
That's good. So, we're gonna move on to the next topic. So, Fallout, it's open world. Far Cry, it's open world.
They all suck.
What else is open world?
Metal Gear.
Metal Gear's open world.
Grand Theft Auto.
Assassin's Creed's open world.
Red Dead Redemption.
Horizon Zero Dawn's gonna be open world. Wild is probably gonna be open world.
Wild is open.
It's super open.
40 years when it comes out.
Yeah.
Oh.
So there's a theme going on. I think last gen we can kind of say like first person shooters are kind of taking the forefront for at least a while, in different variations of it with like BioShock and things like that. now it seems like everybody's, kind of steering towards open world, and you're seeing articles that are saying like, yeah, this is now the tech is out there where you can do so much more, like Witcher's like super open world. You know, what are your thoughts on open world games? Do you think we're gonna hit a oversaturation of that kind of game? Do you only want open world games? Like, is it your niche? Do you love open world games and you can't get enough of them? How do you guys feel about open world games? Var.
I love open world games. I love them more than anything. I want more open world games. The list wasn't long enough.
Oh, God.
Well, I stopped because I was so exhausted because there's so many games.
Which one of those games sounded bad?
The Witcher got annoying.
Witcher's too much for me. Even Dragon Age is something I like.
Annoying.
Yeah.
To each their own. You're wrong. Those games sound great, and the games I've played were great. The thing is, I like exploring, and I like finding stuff.
Yeah.
And I know in each of those games, there's an open world, but at the same time, there is a linear path you could take.
Yeah, but it's one of those things where certain games, like Dragon Age is a good example of this. Yeah. Dragon Age, you can go linear and try to do it, but you need to do a lot of side missions to get more power to advance and to do certain missions and stuff like that.
Force you to grind.
Yeah, which, I mean, it's not like excessive, but at the same time, my biggest problem with open world games is, and this is, again, I referenced Far Cry because I enjoyed that game so much, and Dying Light. Dying Light was like this too, because you have a sandbox that you can do whatever you want in, but at the same time, like, it doesn't oversaturate you with so many different things that you're like, I gotta do this, and then, like, I get so, like, exhausted with doing that I don't even want to continue pursuing it. Like, I lose why I was playing this game. I think that's, and I know that sounds like it's more of a me problem, which maybe it is, but I think with open world games, I like a little bit of a limitation as to, like, the direction. Like, I don't want too much of an open world because then I don't enjoy my experience. I don't finish a lot of open world games. Like, I don't, I struggle. Like Skyrim, Dying Light, because they're in different, like, there's different degrees of open world. You have, like, super open world, and you have, like, sandbox where you're just, like, it's big. Yeah. Like, I like a bit of a middle ground between that, where, like, Far Cry is a little bit more of a sandbox, because you never leave that. Whereas, like, you can bounce. Yeah. I think Mass Effect might be the one I think I like most, because it's not really open world. Yeah, I know, that's the thing, right? It's not really open world, but you can bounce from world to world.
I get it, yeah.
But it's not like they're not super, like, dense. In that, that's a bit more linear. No, that's a little bit more linear. But yeah, that's my problem with open world games, is that, like, I'm struggling with Metal Gear right now because of that. Now, again, it's a lot like a sandbox because it's like the same areas, but it's still open world. Like, you still, like, there's still a shit ton of stuff going on, and it's not like you're level by level. And my problem with it is, like, I'm doing all these side ups, and it, there's a little bit of a point where you need to do all the side ups because that furthers your ability to make newer things, better things, which is fun. I have fun with it, and it's keeping me interested. But there is a point where sometimes I have to take a break because it's just like, should I even do the main mission? Like, like, that's what happens to me. And I'm just like, fuck it, I don't want to do the main. I'm gonna go play Madden for a little bit. Like, that's where I go with it. Yeah. You know what I mean? But that's just me. Like, I think I'm worried that, like, that's gonna be, like, a lot of what we see, and it's gonna be like, oh my god. Because
in fairness, it's how it's done. It's always been and always will be how it's done. One of the questions you originally brought up is, are we going to get tired of open world?
Yeah.
If 10 years from now we see Far Cry's jungle 20 times, of course we'll be tired of it.
Mm-hmm.
If we keep pretending that's something new, we'll be tired of it. It's how it's pulled off. You can make open worlds that don't look like games we've played. Imagine if, to a stronger degree, there were open worlds like Name of the game, sorry.
I don't know.
You just said it.
Far Cry?
No.
Dragon Age?
No.
Metal Gear?
Same people. Same people.
Oh, Mass Effect?
Yes. If there was more scenery, because once you go to an area, it's really linear.
Yeah.
And that was one of the cool things about Mass Effect 1. You explored planets.
With the Mako.
There you go. And that kind of dwindled away as the game progressed.
Yeah.
It became a lot more story driven. Even the side things you can do were just like, you're doing this all for the same cause.
Yeah.
If you make worlds that are innovative and gorgeous, I don't think you get tired of that.
Okay.
See, I actually disagree with that completely. I like that in Mass Effect 1 that it gives you, and even in 2, like you have areas that you can explore and do more, but I like that it funnels you back to a story and it funnels you back to an actual thing. So I have the same problem Jason does. So I put 90 hours into Skyrim. And guess what? Maybe 10 of those were the main quest. Yes, it was cool. Yes, I had fun doing it. But by the time I got back to it, I just didn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Like, I just didn't care. Like, I had already done all this other stuff, and I just don't care anymore because I've been in that world so long without seeing any real good marks of progression. And I understand that's my fault. But if you allow me to play that way, then you need to be prepared for me to play that way and get bored. So the same goes for The Witcher. So you go with this entire huge fucking area, and there's a million side quests, and you get rewards for side quests, and you get all this random stuff for side quests, and then I just get fucking bored.
Mm-hmm.
Because by the time anything happens in the story or anything bigger happens with my character, I've cleared entire 2 maps. And I completely understand, well, you could just go down the main path. You're right, but the game at every turn encourages you to go down those side quests.
Yeah.
Encourages you to collect that random loot. Encourages you to go to those random spots and do whatever fucking thing they put there. The game puts you in that direction.
It's not even encouragement. I think it's more pressure. Like I think it's more of a feeling that if I don't experience the entire world, I'm missing out on everything. But then I get to the point where I'm experiencing the whole world, and I become oversaturated with it. Like I'm just like, this is too much, you know.
And then the other part of that, and I think kind of a bigger part of what Jason was saying is, so that's good. We have The Witcher, and then Metal Gear, and then we're gonna have Fallout. Holy fuck!
I'm gonna play Fallout. Let me just say that right now.
I get that. Like, we're gonna play Fallout. I get that, but like,
it might happen to me though.
Realistically, I don't have the time.
Yeah.
I'd rather play a 9-hour fucking Halo campaign and get a story and get driven and have it deliver this experience to me within those 9 hours than spend 70 hours on side quests and then that's it.
All right. If that is, don't like that. Why do you want to play Fallout?
Because I'm excited to see what they can do if anything different. I'm excited for the gunplay, the VAT system. I think it's a unique way of doing things.
Yeah, it goes back to what you said. It's how people execute it, and Bethesda does a good job at making games that I think, like, I want to beat, but at the same time, like, I guarantee you, there are portions of that game that I'm gonna be like, this is too much. Like, another quest. Like, how many people need help in this place? Like. Yeah. Figure your own shit out. Fight your own rad roaches. Like, that's kind of where I get.
Yeah, no, honestly, so Fallout 4 is not out yet, so we can't say definitively that is the masterpiece. I get it. Everybody already crowned it as God's gift to Earth, and I'm not saying it won't be.
Yeah.
But there is definitely going to be times in that game where I'm going to be just doing things because it's there.
Yeah.
Not because it's fun, not because it does the story. It's just going to be there. And it's up to them to keep that reward system and that feeling of progression and that feeling of that you're accomplishing something present. I don't think The Witcher did it.
No.
And I don't think a lot of open worlds. That's why I never got into Grand Theft Auto. I just was like, what the fuck? Like, what am I supposed to do now?
And that's so my problem with Grand Theft Autos, and I've played 4. I played which one's 4? Is 4 the one with the dude? Yeah, 4 was the one with the guy. He's not Russian.
Nico.
Yeah, Nico Bellic, and I didn't beat that, but I beat 5 because the biggest thing the biggest things I enjoyed out of that game were the fact that I could switch characters and see what they're doing. Like the environment was amazing. The story was fun. Like that's why I like Grand Theft Auto. And the one thing Grand Theft Auto does right for me is that there are a lot of side missions, but I don't need to do any of it. Like I can just go and do all the other main missions. The only thing I have to do sometimes is like for tutorial purposes, they make you do a side mission so you learn something new. But they have this thing, you can do whatever you want. If you want to beat the game, you can beat the game like that, you know? But I think there are open world games that feed you this like, hey, you can do whatever you want. And you can beat the campaign, but you're gonna have to do a couple other things. And then I get stuck doing all those things and I'm just like, I don't even want to beat the campaign.
Right, and so it's funny you said that. Like a lot of games, and this is actually what scares me about Wild. A lot of games go, you can do whatever you want. What if I don't want to fucking do it? So, what if I want to hear your story because I'm genuinely interested?
Yeah. Gotta jump through all these hoops first.
Yeah, well, tell me just how to hear your fucking story.
Mm-hmm.
What do I have to do just to hear the fucking story? I don't know. And then, so the other part of it too is, I will say this is, it used to be that when games came out, the biggest time sink was multiplayer, right? Which, depending on what, you got your enjoyment, blah, 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 blah. I mean, as of this moment, I do. I hope not to in the very near future. But I wouldn't have time to complete Witcher, to complete Grand Theft Auto 5, to complete fucking Metal Gear, and to complete Fallout.
I'm struggling.
in 1 year?
Yeah.
That would never be a fucking possibility.
Yeah.
I mean, as of right now, it's a little different for me. I have more time on my hands. But that needs to change anyway. That's not like a permanent thing for my life. That's not a permanent thing. So, like, what am I just not ever going to see my wife again to play Fallout 4?
Or it's going to take you so long, and you're gonna feel like you're gonna have that idea that like almost like it's obligation to beat it, and then it's
so I'm going to tell both of you right now. I am not going to beat Fallout 4.
Fair enough.
It's not going to happen. There is no fucking way I beat Fallout 4. Unless that game is so mind-blowingly good that I literally cannot peel myself away from it, there's no way I beat it.
Mm-hmm.
No fucking way. I know myself. I know I'm going to get burned out. There's no way I beat it.
Yeah.
Unless something about it is that amazing, which maybe
you beat Fallout 3, though.
No.
Oh, no?
I got towards, like, the last part of it, and that was it. New Vegas got towards the last part of it, and that was it. Because some dumb shit would always happen in the game, or my life for maybe a week or 2 weeks, and, like, that was it.
Yeah.
Like, just, I didn't have the time. I didn't have the resources to put into it. Now, I understand why those could be attractive and time sinks. You can put a lot of, and I get that.
I gotta ask a question real quick. LeVar, why are you looking at us like we got 3 heads?
I want to say this in the most correct way possible, but a part of that sounded like I play games to not have fun with them, and then I go on to the next game knowing I won't have too much fun with that. I won't have time to put in this. I want an open world game to get as much out of it as I can. I'm not looking. I know there are so many different avenues for games that are way shorter.
Yeah.
And if it's a matter of time, then yeah, I'll go to that road. But if I'm looking at the game as a game, not as a method, a measurement of my time to put into it, but as a game itself, I want as much game as I can get. I want the lore, the environment, the gameplay, every piece of item
But you can
be a
do that
part of
without oversaturating us with side quests.
Yeah.
You can do that, and that's not like, that's not saying we don't enjoy that stuff. It's saying that if like there's so many open world games, and like we want to experience them,
right?
But it's such a time devotion to just beat the game. Like, we're not talking about like me just trying to do everything in the game. I'm just talking about beating the game. Like, all those games are set up for you to like experience almost everything, or at least dabble in it, and it's not like you really have an option. Now, there's a limit. Like, they don't say you have to do everything. Like, it's not implied or anything. Like, you can like, there's certain games that, but like Dragon Age is a perfect example. Like I said, you have to do things to do power, like to get power.
Mm-hmm.
And when you do that, like, I'm doing all these side quests, and then when I get to the main mission, I don't want to fucking do it. Like,
well, in the fairness of Dragon Age, they had a backup system for that where you didn't have to burn yourself out on the game. They had the SPN, well, the board, a map of the world where there were different side missions that you weren't doing that you would send people on.
I don't think you got power from those though. You didn't get power from those.
Yeah, that was.
You got like resources and action perks.
I thought you got influence from those.
No, you got no.
You got resources and that kind of.
And perks from them.
Yeah.
I could have swore I got.
Because you get coin and stuff like that.
Yeah,
But even so, there's a time limit. You have to wait 2 hours, an hour.
And fucking send them out again.
Yeah, like you have to wait this amount of time to do that. Like, let's say I need like 9 power, and once 3 hours I have to wait, and it gives me 2 power. I still gotta do other stuff, which, like, I'm not saying that I don't enjoy it, but I say that there comes a point on all those open world games that I'm at the point where like I'm not enjoying it because it's so repetitious. It's like we're talking like it's very distinct and very unique, and it's not. You know what I mean? Like, and that's my problem with it, because then I go to do a main mission and it's so interesting, and I want to do the next one, but I have to wait because I do more fucking side missions.
Well, that's not. Dragon Age is an example of that.
Yeah.
I don't feel that's common.
No, because even though you don't have power, you have levels. So like, there's games that have level things that you need to be level 14 to do this. Like, it's recommended, because then otherwise it's impossible. It's the same thing. You have to do a grind to level up, is the same as me grinding to get power to do it, except Dragon Age does both.
I know Dragon Age did that, but I'm trying to think, because I don't think Fallout was like that on either.
No, The Witcher was like that.
Fallout wasn't like what? Where you had certain levels?
You actually did.
Yeah, you had to be certain levels to do missions.
Yeah.
Really?
Well,
yeah.
Not only to do missions, you'd have to like up your fucking computer skill, or up.
Yeah.
Oh yes, that's
like just
that's
to do
true.
shit. Anyway, so what I think it really boils down to is this, and I think this is what bothers me and Jason more. We don't have a problem with these open world games. The problem is, to us, or to me, is that this seems to be the trend of all we are getting.
That has like power, like that is considered like something we need to play, something we need to play. Yeah.
So our AAA games are all moving towards bigger worlds, open worlds, do whatever you want, go wherever you want. They're getting away from this story-driven experience of, even if it's a 10-hour game, even if it's a 15-hour game, even if it's a 5-hour game, instead of this, like, here, experience this, it's becoming all games of, we'll just fucking go do shit. And that's the part I think that worries me the most, is if I want to play all the AAA games, they're all going to be fucking open world games. A great example, look at Just Cause 3.
I actually want to play that.
Yeah, but what's their huge selling point? The map is even fucking bigger.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Because people like that the map was big in the second one. Like, that was a driving factor, that exploration.
Right, but I'm saying...
Yeah, but...
it was in a different world. We lived in a different time.
I don't even think.
I think they're all like that now.
Yeah.
That is what they all do. They all go, look how big my fucking map is. Come play on it.
Yeah.
Instead of like, hey, look how dope this story is. Hey, look how great this gameplay is. Hey, look at this shit that you actually want to do. And I'm just saying that we're moving towards everything going open world instead of a balance. We missed that balance.
Well, I guess the argument could be that there's a demand for open world, but at the same time, my bigger problem with it is that, and I know I'm not the only one. I know I'm not the only one, and I know Phil's not the only one. That we have people that there are people out there that play these games and don't finish them because it's just too much. It really is, and people would prefer to play a game that has a little bit more structure. And I think my worry with open world is that they make these games because they can now, because the engines are there and like the computer hardware is there that or console hardware is there that they can make these giant open worlds and have you do all these things, and it's fun for the first 10 hours. It is, like, I'm not saying it's not, but at the same time, like, there comes to a point for me that I say, like, I'm done with this game. And am I doing justice to the game by doing that? No. And that's my problem. And I get that that's a me problem, but at the same time, like, that is indicative of the fact that I think you oversaturate the market with these games, open world games, because now you can do it, right? And then it's like, so I have to play another open world game? Like, you can't give me, so I like I said, Far Cry is a good example of that for me. Metal Gear, I still don't know how I feel about it, like, because Metal Gear's whole premise, like, was so cinematic and so sequential that this isn't that. This isn't that. And I think it takes away from your experience with Metal Gear. Now, when I go to do a mission, an actual mission, not a side up, but an actual mission, certain ones make you feel like, okay, this is a Metal Gear game, right? This is a Metal Gear game. But then you finish that mission, you go back to your helicopter, it's Aero Command Center. You're back in it, and then it's like, new side ups list updated, because you got more fucking side ups lists to do, and it's like, it's one of those things where, like, they put it in your face, so it's like, I gotta do side ups. And whether you agree that, like, I have this option, it's one of those things where I'm playing and it's like almost an obligation to do them, because I have to further myself and get better shit, because, like, now I'm fighting fucking I forgot what they're called. There's these fucking things that you have to shoot Stinger missiles at, because it has to follow them, and I have to fucking grind to do that. Like, and I'm gonna get to the point where I'm grinding and I just don't want to fucking do it. And that's my problem with it. Like, I think they need to find a better balance with these games for me. And again, it comes down to execution, because I think certain games will do it right. Like, I did play Skyrim heavily until my computer fucked up. I mean, my console save, my PlayStation save fucked up. And then I played Fallout 3 and I beat that. But I had time. Like, I was in fucking high school. Like, I didn't.
Right.
It comes down to, like, now
it comes down to time.
I'm an adult and I'm doing different things. Like, my life's different. I'm married, and, like, I want to enjoy what they're putting out there, but I can't, because it's too much of a commitment. This is ironic because I'm married, but it's too much of a commitment. You know what I mean? It's like, I have better shit to do, and my worry with the fact that everything's open world is that I'm gonna miss out on all these games, because, like, I'm just not gonna have the drive to do it, because, like, I have all these factors outside of playing games that force me to. My time's restricted.
But all right, that's the problem I have. The problem I always see is, when I have an open world game, I believe there will be more content. When it's not open world, I believe it'll be more linear and less content. So my approach to it is normally that if it's not open world, I'm already missing out. I'm already missing out on extra content I could have had. And your point is valid. The less time you have, the less you'll get out of these games. But I think it comes down to execution, but at the same time, it also comes down to how much you're getting out of the game and the choice that you have, because I want there to be just as much content. I want there to be just as much content as these massive games they have planned out will have. Do I want it to be necessary for everyone to do everything? No. That's never been my view of these games. I don't like one of my favorite things is that I played Fallout 3, my friend Frank played Fallout 3. I go over his house and he's like, "Did you find this?" And he blows my mind because I didn't find that. I love that. I love that. I don't like it when I don't like it when someone has the exact same experience as me in a game.
Can I ask you a question?
Mm-hmm.
What do you like better, Metal Gear Solid 4 or Fallout 3? Just straight up. What do you like better? You know it's Metal Gear Solid 4.
Remember, I have Fallout 3 as my number 3 and Metal Gear Solid as my number 4. I really loved Fallout 3.
So you like it better than Metal Gear Solid 4?
It's tough because Metal Gear Solid 4 wasn't just Metal Gear Solid 4. It was the end of the Solid State.
Yeah, but it's and Fallout 3 is Fallout 2, but bigger and different.
I knew nothing about Fallout 2.
Yeah, but at the same time, the experience. But my point is, you can still get an enjoyment factor that is equivalent to your open world in a linear. That is the epitome of a linear game. Like,
I get you.
You know what I mean? And my whole thing about it is, I beat Metal Gear Solid 4. I think I beat it like twice or 3 times because it was just an amazing experience.
Mm-hmm.
And, but I think the bigger part of that too is that I didn't feel like, and again, like it is super linear, and I don't want super linear. Like The Order was like that. Like more recently,
Yeah.
it is short, which that's not the point. It's still a good game, but it's so like we're doing this and we're gonna go do that. Like I don't like that. Like I think Mass Effect is probably the one that I reference in my head more because like it's not open world, it's open universe, right? But it has boundaries in that like you still get such a great. That's another example. Like I think, well, no, it's not. Mass Effect isn't better than Fallout 4, Fallout 3, but the point still stands. Like you can still do that. You can still have that experience, and you can have a different experience than me, and it not be completely open world and oversaturate me with side quests. And because when you think about it, like I get that you're saying there's more content, but it's just more of the same content. Like it's just another side quest and another side quest, and
but
you know what I mean?
That's not true. All right.
How?
With the examples you're thinking of, it's true. With the open world games I'm thinking of, it's not, because I'm not thinking of just the Fallouts. I'm thinking of Final Fantasy.
Okay, but how are those side quests all different?
They're not all different, but they have different elements to them, and I don't feel like I'm just running an errand again and again and again. There's more content, and that was for the past how many generations? And those are open world games. I like that.
They're sort of open world.
Yeah, Final Fantasy is
a world that's open to you.
Well, then Mass Effect.
One of them you have to like beat the game before it was open world, or beat like half of it.
13.
That was
okay.
And then it still wasn't open world. That's
okay.
It.
So that's not open world. And then
it's 13.
Yeah, no,
that's a problem in and of
he's agreed that that's too linear for a Final Fantasy.
You can't even go back to the places. That's a problem in and of itself. That's the exception to the Final Fantasy list.
See, I must have played Final Fantasy wrong, because I never remember Final Fantasy being open world. I always remember just following storyline, going from place to place, from devastation to devastation. I never just dicked around in open worlds.
Yeah, his confused look matches mine. Which one are you?
Phrase that. I walked around in a open world.
Yeah.
But it is not what I would consider an open world of the sense of I can just do whatever the fuck I want. I could walk around and fight monsters. I could walk around in some different areas, maybe have something else. I can go to the Gold Saucer and play their games. But it wasn't an open world in the sense that I could affect the world. I could do things that cause actual consequence in the world. Maybe the later ones were like, I don't know, I didn't beat 10, so maybe 10 was 12 maybe.
I hated 12.
But like,
I love 12.
I
Good times.
never got to the point where I felt like I was affecting the world in some way. It had a world map, yes.
I think I know what he's saying.
What does that mean?
Yeah, because I was a little confused by it too. It's that like it's an open world, but there's nothing to it. Like there's nothing to the open world, so it doesn't necessarily make it the equivalent to like a Fallout or a.
What'd you say, Phil?
It was more like a hub. It's not like a Fallout. Like I'm not gonna walk by a random house and then attack it.
They couldn't do that.
No, I get that. But that's exactly what we're talking about. Is because the technology is here. This is what they're doing.
They're oversaturating you with that idea that I'm giving you all this content. It's.
But that's what when you say open world, that's what I think of. I don't.
But to his point, Final Fantasies aren't that way.
Yeah, they're not.
They're not like you have all this content where you can do. Final Fantasy X is the only one that I can remember that. Well, they all have like special weapons and stuff that you can get, but it's not necessarily like this vastness of like. And again, it's probably limitations, but it's not this thing where it's like you can go do all this other stuff you want to do. Like you still like the main part of that was doing the story. Like that was the.
That's all you.
Yeah.
That's never been my experience with that.
What, besides getting the summons and stuff like that?
Oh, besides that too. All of them had side quests. What?
What other factions did you join? Like, did you join other factions?
What do you mean?
Change the world outside of the main story quest?
There were other things you did. Like I said, my example with Fallout 3, finding something, completing a quest to actually have something that the main story wouldn't give you. Right. Extra content.
Right. I get going for loot, but I would not call Final Fantasy an open world. Not that. The new one is going to be an open world. That's an actual fucking open world that they're showing. But the ones back in the day were hub worlds. It let you to areas. That area let you to that summon. It let you to that weapon. You did not go into a town and join its faction and build rep and do the different things associated with an open world.
That's completely true, but that's not what I even now. That's
here's my problem: is if we use the definition of Final Fantasy being an open world, then Super Mario World was an open world.
And okay.
Well, it's the same premise. I know
it's a world map. It lets you to different places. You can go back and find hidden items. You can go back and find hidden worlds.
Okay.
It's the same premise, and that to me, that's not an open world.
Okay.
To me, I would want more of that, of what you describe, the older Final Fantasies.
So
I
do
would
I.
want more than that because it was like.
But that's why I'm like
ton of content, but not an open world where I'm playing the game and all of a sudden I don't know what the fuck I'm doing anymore, and I just saved 10 fucking chickens for the 5th time, and I just don't give a fuck.
It's a Witcher reference.
Okay.
But I know I saw that on your face. I was like, let me make sure he knows that.
And that's actually why I saw the progression going. That's where I've always seen the progression going.
See, I think
because that's where they took it in 12. 12 was like 12 wasn't a hub. 10 was a hub. Well, 10 had a hub.
10 was 10. Yeah, like when you think about 10, the only thing that you really did outside of go from place to place is spend time in the aircraft. It wasn't like you can just take the aircraft and go where the fuck you want, like drive it or anything. But I think my main point to it is when they're building these open world games, especially now, because I kind of see what Phil's saying. I still would categorize the Final Fantasies as open world, but that's not my argument here. Okay. Is at what point do you look at it? Because I already know your answer to this. Is I say how much is too much, and for you it's there is no limit.
Never, right.
And I completely disagree with that. I think there needs to be some sort of, even if they give you that option without confining you to the idea that you need to enjoy the side quests and stuff like that. Because when you're doing that, like you're shortening my ability to enjoy it the way I want to. You know? And I think that's the bigger thing is like, I'm worried that because Assassin's Creed is another one that it's
it's gonna get bigger and bigger.
They get bigger and bigger, and that is open world. I mean, it's sandbox, but it's still.
But I never considered those games too time consuming.
There's a million side missions, millions.
All right. I get you.
Millions.
I just personally, from
my experience. You only played Assassin's Creed 1, right?
No, I played Assassin's Creed 1 and gave up on it because it bored the shit out of me. I played 2 and the 2 expansions for 2.
Oh, Revelations and Brotherhood? I played
a part of 3 and it's like, how long is this prologue?
Very long, 3 hours.
No, I'm good.
I went through it and I was just like, I dropped the control. I was like, fuck this, and I returned it.
Terrible open world game. All right. Yeah.
I think the gist is, and I think this is, good because we can get other people's perspective, because I honestly, I'm curious to hear what people have to say, but at the same, the end result is you like as much open world as possible. You do. Don't say you don't.
It's not just that, but from my personal experience, one of the biggest games I've ever played, one of the biggest feeling games I ever played was Elder Scrolls Oblivion.
Yeah.
I did a lot in that game, and then when the DLC came out, they added more. And I did that too, and I enjoyed myself.
So, that's a perfect example for me. Sorry to cut you off, but that's a perfect example. I had no issues with the amount of time I spent with Elder Scrolls Oblivion. I did have a little bit of an issue with the amount of time I spent with Fallout and Skyrim. Because I felt that they were too big. Now, I beat Fallout, and I told you, I got through Skyrim, and I got frustrated. Because I lost my save twice. Every time I touched water, my fucking computer, my PlayStation froze.
I had it on PS3 too.
Yeah, fuck that. And I had no problems beating Oblivion. I had no problems enjoying Oblivion for what it was. It had enough. It had enough.
Right.
But I felt that had more than most games, and that's
no. That was. Have you ever looked at the map equivalent to Skyrim?
Right, but
it's a quarter of it.
Right. And that's the thing I was saying about Just Cause 3. Everything's now, because you can, a bigger fucking map. Fuck the gameplay. Fuck the rest of it. Because what did they really change? For me, no offense, Jason, Far Cry 3, Far Cry 4, best fucking example of it. Fuck did they change? They just waited till everybody forgot about Far Cry 3 enough and released Far Cry 4.
Well, you didn't forget about it because you played them right after the other.
I played Far Cry 3 all the way through, and then I was like, oh, let me play Far Cry 4. And I was like, it's the same fucking game. It's just more. And I couldn't. I didn't beat Far Cry 4. I think that's what our bigger issue is just there's so much. But I think this is right?
This is it? You're saying? Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah, we'll leave it at that. This has been Last Level Gamescast, episode 9, I think. Are we at 9, guys?
It is 9 now.
Yes, it's 9 now. If it's not, it's 9.5/10. Thanks for listening to us. Like I said earlier in the show, we do have a new Just Our Thoughts that's up. It is about the Paris Game Show. So check it out. Leave a comment below. Like, comment, and subscribe. We're going to try to do more on our website. It's there. You'll see it posted and everything. Yes. And I guess we'll see you guys next week. Have a good one.
Take it easy.